Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Christian Productions. In this video, I'm going over 5 tricks you can do with an overdrive. So this first trick is a very simple trick. It's known as feedback. For those of you who do not know what feedback is, this is what feedback is. So that's feedback. The genres that really, I guess, use feedback a good amount is punk, obviously, punk rock, and other genres too, but not to the extent. Oh, hardcore too. Hardcore uses that a lot, but you'll hear it in songs occasionally, but not as much as those genres. You'll hear it occasionally every now and then, but you could also use it during a live situation, which could be pretty cool. So, with the feedback you just heard is without an overdrive. So here's an non-overdriven feedback. Use feedback with overdrive. So as you guys can hear, the feedback is a lot more aggressive and it's almost instant with an overdrive. Now a really good tip is it does start to get a good feedback is obviously you want your amp kind of cranked, or you do want a higher rated amp, meaning the wattage is higher. I found it's easier to get feedback on anything over 50 watts. I currently have an AV60 from Vox. It's easier because it's a 60 watt amp, the headroom's a bit more, so you can have the volume lower and it'll just, I don't know, it's just something about it. I'm not sure the exact scientific explanation, but just higher wattage amps just tend to feedback easier. But you can also aid that feedback with an overdrive. Also just want to be in a gain channel, so make sure you're on a gain channel. So those are the tips in order to get a good feedback from not just an overdrive, but also from an amp. So tip number 2, I think is something that people kind of overlook with, just in general, even with an overdrive. Or maybe not even notice. You might notice it, but it may be accustomed to an overdrive or a boost, and what that is sustain. So what sustain can be good for is if you're a lead player, say you're in a hair metal band or some super shreddy guy, or you're just a lead player in a band, in a death metal band, and you do a bunch of solos and everything. Kind of a bad interpretation, but anyway. You could be a lead player in any kind of genre, in terms of, heavy music, and if you say you end on a solo, you end on a note, you could just do a little bit of vibrato. You want the note soar, and since you're letting that note go, you want that note to sustain, obviously, for a little bit, but it may be a little difficult without an overdrive. Here, let me show you. This is without an overdrive. So as you can hear, it kind of dies, the note dies, and then you just end up going to feedback, which feedback is good with sustain because it kind of, you'll hear it swell into the feedback, which is really nice, which is what you want when sustaining a note. You want it to kind of just, you have the note, and as it's going, it just kind of swells into feedback. This is what it sounds like with an overdrive. So you guys did hear the note, kind of just, here's your note. Did exactly what it did. You guys can go ahead and click back if you guys want to hear it. Also, another tip for this one is you do want to have a good amount of gain. So make sure you're in a high gain channel, and also make sure you have your gain up just a little bit on your overdrive for just get a little bit more gain to help with your sustain. So this next trick is a bit of a weird trick, if you can call it. It's more of a tonal trick than anything. Yeah, I call it the breakdown of sanity chug. And for any breakdown of sanity fans who understand guitar, play guitar, may understand what I'm talking about. If you guys don't know, I'll leave a couple breakdown of sanity songs in the description box below for you guys to hear what I'm talking about. That's only if I remember to. If I don't, leave a comment asking, and I will go ahead and do that for you guys. Anyway, so for those of you guys who haven't heard what the breakdown of sanity chug is, this is what it sounds like. So as you guys heard, it's a pretty clunky sounding riff. It's kind of a weird technique you need to do. Instead of palm muting near the bridge, just move it over the bridge pickup and just palm mute. Make sure you push kind of hard and chug hard and pick hard in order to get that. So make sure you're over the bridge pickup. It gets a little easier to get that sound if you're kind of in between both coils of the bridge pickup, or just smack dab in the middle. Just get it clunky. So here is the breakdown of what I'm gonna do is I'll do that same technique just with the overdrive on and off. So here's first on. So you guys can hear it's just something up in the upper range in terms of EQ, of tone, kind of the higher end, kind of the whole higher end, maybe the upper mid range. It's kind of clunkiness. It's like a kind of sound. It's the best way I can make it in terms of sound. I know that sounds weird, but that's what it is. You guys can go rewind, compare both to hear what I mean. It's a weird thing, but it's you can't get that sound without an overdrive or some kind of boost. And before I go on to this next one, I do want to say, if you have a level control on your drive or your if you have a tone control on your overdrive or on your boost, make sure you crank that up. I like mine maxed out. You don't have to have it maxed out. Make sure it's above noon in order to get that effect. It's going on my last tip. My last tip is, and probably the most famous tip you can do with an overdrive / boost, is just to help tighten your sound up. Because in my case, my most amps, like the one I have here, the Vox AV61 on the high gain channel, when you're going through, a good amount of gain, even with your bass down or completely, scooped with no bass at all, you still have a pretty flubby sound. So here's what my amp sounds like with no overdrive. So there is gain, there is some kind of punch in there, but it's just missing a little bit, and so the bottom end is just a little flubby on this amp. There's certain amps out there, like a Mesa Boogie Dual Rec is a good example, that has a lot of flubby bottom end that you don't really want, especially in terms of guitar, because guitar is a more of a mid-ranged focused instrument and it sits in the mid-range, so you definitely want an overdrive to help boost the mid-range and those higher frequencies to help accentuate the instrument, and also just completely scoop, not necessarily scoop, but get rid of all the bottom end. Let's compare the two sounds. First without an overdrive, and then with an overdrive. Now, in order to get this effect, along with all the other tips I've shown in this video, which I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, but here it is now. You do want to have the level maxed out, and what that does is it helps when it's on. It takes the signal going into the amp. What level is? It's just the volume of the pedal. Sorry. So it takes the level when it's maxed out at past 12. When it's maxed out, so here's the volume when it's maxed out. It lifts it up a certain amount of dB. Depends on the dB level. Depends on the manufacturer who's ever making it. It can be anywhere probably from like 6 dB to some pedals go up to like 26. I think even some go up to 30. Anyway, so you want to boost it. You want to have tone anywhere from just below noon to wherever you want it past noon, and gain either all the way off or just slightly in. I like my gain slightly in just to help saturate just a little bit more. But with the level up, it just kind of hits the front end anyway, giving it more gain. So I guess I can leave the gain off, but I just like a little bit of gain. Just set up the pedal to personal taste, but first set it up to level at max, tone in the middle, and gain all the way off, and then you guys can go ahead and tweak from there. So those are 5 tips you guys can do with an overdrive pedal. In this case, I'm using the Boss SD1 Overdrive. There's a billion, it's not billions, but there's a ass ton of overdrive pedals out there. You know, there's obviously the one I have here. You have Max on OD808, Max on OD808X. You have the Ibanez Tube Screamer. You know, you got higher end stuff like the Precision Drive. Horizon devices, you can got some boost pedals you can get similar effects out of. You're kind of limited just to the level, but some people like that, some people don't. It doesn't really matter to me. I just prefer overdrives because I have just 2 extra controllers for the level. That's just me. So for those of you who do have an overdrive, let me know other tips and tricks or tricks that you guys know in the comment section below, and I'll definitely try those out and hopefully make another video, like a part 2 of this if I get enough. Anyway, besides the point, if you guys enjoy these types of videos and in other similar types of videos, including leave it like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'll be doing more similar videos to this, and I'll also be doing other music-related videos. So if that sounded interesting to you, definitely subscribe and turn on the bell notification whenever so you guys are notified whenever I upload a video. See you guys next time, and remember, rock on, guys. I just joked about the guitar, leaving that in the video. Peace out, guys.